What do you get when you combine 1 part tenacity?
She's not going to ever give up or take no for an answer.
1 part fearlessness.
She's not afraid to tackle just about anything.
1 part resolve.
She's not afraid of hard work.
And sprinkle it with high ethical standards.
She's good to the core and straight as an arrow.
That would give you one of Augusta's most visible businesswomen, Vera Stewart. Over the last 3 decades, Vera has taken a small catering business started out of her home kitchen into a nationally known mail-order foods company. Her gourmet cakes and casseroles have garnered national media attention. Most recently on the Food Network, where celebrity chef Bobby Flay challenged her to a carrot cake throwdown. As has been the case for most of her life, Vera came out on top.
Dish B.
One might think such success would go to her head or allow her to rest on her laurels. But it's Vera's formative years that keep her grounded in reality and committed to constant improvement of her business, her products, and herself. The Macon native says she owes much of her success to her mother, her first role model.
I had an upbringing by a strong female character. My mother was widowed at 40, and she had to survive. Back in 1960, there wasn't any avenue to travel other than the School of Hard Knocks. And she put 5 children through college, educated us all in discipline and working hard for your dream. And I've taken that with me every step of the way.
When Vera earned a degree in home economics, she didn't realize that in 1984 she would be practicing economics out of her home. Her main motivation for starting her business was so that she could stay home with her 2 sons. Vera worked hard to develop a reputation.
When I first met Vera, I was in charge of getting a caterer for the Augusta Museum of History for a big membership party. And I asked Vera if she would be interested in bidding on it, and she said yes, she would. And her bid was so low, it was $4 a person. And I said, Vera, you can't possibly make any money off of that. And she says, well, I'm just trying to get people to know me, and if I do a good job, maybe they'll call me.
She soon became known for her quality and her attention to detail.
She's very involved, even in the smallest kind of event. She doesn't leave it up to one of her managers or whatever. She's always involved and makes sure that everything's perfect.
Longtime friend Sam Nicholson recalls when Vera catered his daughter's wedding at the Georgia Golf Hall of Fame Gardens.
She had her apron on, and then when anybody walked in there to do something, to deliver something or whatever else was going on over there, she said this was Vera's house. And that's about what it was. It was Vera's house, and she took charge, she did it. We didn't have to worry about it, and she did an excellent job.
Successful as she was at catering, she couldn't overcome the economic downturn of the early 1990s. In typical Vera fashion, she managed to turn lemons into lemonade. Her desire to diversify led to what would become her most successful venture, her Very Vera mail-order baked goods business. For 2 years, the company developed a small but loyal clientele. But then, in 1995, Southern Living magazine featured Very Vera in its November issue.
We literally had a call to our 800 number every 30 seconds for over 2 weeks. We made a sale in every state in 10 days. That was the big break. That was the big break that got us on the map, got us shipping cakes, outside of the Southeast.
The secret was out. Features in national publications such as the New York Times, Gourmet, and In Style were letting the nation know about Vera's confections, which were a throwback to the day when homemakers took pride in their creations. But success hasn't always come easy for the company. Vera has seen her share of tough times.
When 9/11, when that happened, it was like 3 weeks before we went to press on a holiday catalog. And I can remember calling a unannounced meeting of my advisory board to say, what is appropriate. We actually chose to go ahead with it, and I'm so glad I did.
The following year, Vera's catering business took a major hit during Masters Week when Martha Burke protested the Augusta National Golf Club's all-male membership, putting a damper on the biggest corporate hospitality event of the year.
In our community, we felt it through companies not coming to the Masters that year, maybe scaling back a little bit on what they were doing. So she actually hurt me worse than 9/11.
Fortunately, Vera's catering business rebounded, and her mail order and gourmet-to-go business continued to thrive and attract attention from some of the nation's most influential media personalities.
Well, I just congratulated her when she got her cake in Oprah magazine, I think it's called O. And she says, well, I guess I should be in there. I've been sending that woman cakes for 10 years.
Vera's latest foray into the big leagues is getting her Very Vera gourmet bakery brand casseroles into the frozen food section at 27 southeastern Costco stores.
She is a real good promoter and marketer. And she wants to be the best. She wants to move forward. She wants to be spoken about in the same vein as Paula Deen or Martha Stewart.
Of course, her greatest exposure to date was on the Food Network show Throwdown with Bobby Flay.
It's really done a lot for our business. We again are very fortunate every time someone takes a chance on speaking up for this company. We rise to the occasion.
A key ingredient to Vera's success over the years has been the Very Vera team, many of whom are young people working their first real job. Vera takes delight in mentoring the employees and sharing her work ethic. She even volunteers to give guest lectures to Don Howard's business students at Augusta State University.
She is spellbinding with the students. I think Vera is really a teacher at heart.
Since 1997, Stewart has awarded a $1,000 scholarship each year to a high school student as a reward for their hard work and commitment to following their dreams. Ironically, the inspiration for the scholarship was someone she didn't initially want to hire. Tom Bacon, a high school friend of her son, John.
John had told me, I guess the day before my interview, that Vera wasn't going to hire me because I had long hair at the time. So I went and got a haircut and shaved before the interview, and I guess I impressed her when I showed up a little more dressed up, and so I got the job and off we went. Vera told me that she had wanted to do this for years and that I had somehow or another inspired her to actually, bring it about.
Graduates of Vera's School of Good Taste, as she calls it, say her mentoring has helped them become successful and responsible adults.
Even to this day, I still create my to-do list, handwritten.
Vera always treated me like an adult. I was a senior in high school, just a kid, but I always remember, I remember thinking, wow, she thinks I'm a grown-up. She thinks I'm a grown-up. And it helped me grow up. It did. It taught me responsibility.
Went out for my deliveries and came back, and Vera pulled me into her office right away, and she said, "You passed the test." And I said, "What are you talking about, pass the test?" She said, "I timed you on your delivery route today." I was like, holy cow.
It was very chaotic. I was learning how to package a cake, and she came in, and I turned to my side, and she was right there beside me with her sleeves rolled up, doing the exact same thing I was doing. And I thought, here's the owner, and I'm the new kid, and she's doing what I'm doing. So, it really stuck with me.
She's always encouraging, always wanting you to do more, always wanting you to think outside of the box, get your education. You can go anywhere with an education, you really can.
At Very Vera, education isn't just for high school students. The Very Vera Cooking Camp gives 2 age groups a lesson in food preparation and etiquette. The 3-week, 2-session summer program culminates with the children serving their parents a meal they made themselves.
I've always been interested in the whole aspect of entertaining, growing up with a grandmother and a mother that were both, very interested in etiquette. We're both very skilled at being able to organize and orchestrate. I feel that it's been a great experience for for me and for Very Vera to be able to give back to this community that has essentially helped me put every brick in place in this building.
Though Vera has achieved success by any measurement in the food services industry, she is still working toward her ultimate goal, a brand name strong enough to withstand the test of time.
There's a local company called Markel Paper Company, and they were adding on an addition to the building, and we were fortunate enough to be asked to do the catering for that. And I remember it was a very hot day, we were under a tent, and this gentleman stood up at the podium and started talking about his pride in the company. And then he stopped and he said, you know, my grandfather started this company. And I can hardly talk about it now because it makes me emotional, because to that minute I looked at my assistants that day that were working with me. I said, that's what I want somebody to say one day. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, is for the name Very Vera to stand for something, for it to stand the test of time, for it to be a name that sells a brand that stands for good quality, integrity. In 10 years, I hope that, you know, we are a vibrant part of the food service industry.
Those who have followed her progress over the years marvel at how far she has come in such a short time.
When you look back at how she started and where she is today, I mean, it's quite a story.
Gosh, you know, how did all of this happen? And you know, you look around and I go back to my home kitchen, you know, in the early 80s when I'd put the children to bed, and, you know, my husband was trying to get a little decent sleep, and I'm down there with the cheese straw maker going, rah, 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 making cheese straws. You know, now I don't make the cheese straws anymore, but I know exactly what they're supposed to taste like.